to 20. Right now we will start our second session of this day about the laboratory practice session. Earlier this morning, we already have met Mr. Lali and friend that talk about the natural adhesive and its application for cultural heritage object. And now this session we will continue about the essential oil as biocide on cultural heritage conservation. Allow me to introduce our speaker today. She is Miss Sri Wahyuni. She's in the middle. Please raise your hand, Miss Sri Wahyuni. She is a conservator from Borobudur Conservation Office. She already been in the office for about 10 years, I think. She started joined the BCO at 2010. Yeah. And today she will be assisted by two of her colleagues. The first one is Miss Francisca Dian. She also has 10 years experience in BCO and also the only male in this show, Mr. Alwidio Purwoko. He's more has longer experience. He's already 20 years in this office, so he has many experience about conservation. And right now, I think we just start the session. So for Miss Sri Wahyuni, Miss Francisca Dian, and Mr. Widyo Purwoko, Zoom is yours.
Thank you very much, Linus, for the time. Hello, everyone. Happy to see you again, all the participants of Biochemco, and we'd like to extend our gratitude to you for being really, really dedicated in joining us in the hands-on and the lab practices. And today we're going to give you a hands-on on essential oils for the heritage conservation. We started using this method in 2014, initiated by Larry Agung Hartoko. So we use black pepper, essential oils, and other traditional ingredients. And we conducted study, and we found that using citronella, 3% of the concentrate, worked really well as anti-termites and also anti-fungi or lichens. In 2015, we continued the research using the essential oils for stone conservation. Basically to remove microorganisms, for example, lichens. Some essential oils that we use for the research of heritage conservation, lichens and also moss and other microorganisms, we use curcuma oil, and then we use citronella oil, nutmeg oil, and also pepper oil, as well as clove extracts. And we continued the research in 2019. We use essential oils to prevent the spread of termites in document or paper material. In the sessions, we're going to show you on how to treat wood artifacts or stone artifacts. And in this session, we're going to show you the conservation of wood material using citronella oil or citronella essential oil. And this is our solution. And we use alcohol or ethanol. This is our solvent. This is 90%, 96%. As you can see here, this is an artifact, or this is a sample that shows you the moss or the lichens on the item. Now we're going to make citronella solution in 3% concentrate. And then we're going to use the ethanol as our solution agent. So we use some measuring tools here and equipment. And now we're pouring the essential oils of citronella. So we're using the backer glass. And this is the ethanol we're going to add is 100 milliliter. And now we stir to make it more homogeneous. We're going to apply the solution using a brush. We're applying this on the wooden item, on the surface of a wood item. These are some spots, lichen spots, and then also we have some mold as well here, white spot. And the darker spots here are the lichen. And we apply these on the surface. We do it one way in the same direction. And make sure that all the surface is well covered. All the spots here are well covered. The part of this plank that doesn't have any signs of microorganism invasion here, actually, you can still apply the solution. And we can repeat the application of the citronella solution now in the different direction. So it's a reversed direction. So then we can be sure that the solution is covering the surface well. We can observe the effectiveness of the solution or the treatment using the citronella of 3% concentration or concentrate. We can observe this within 24 hours. And we can see discoloration on the lichen and also the fungi or moss or other spots here. The discolorations of the lichen, the color will turn into brown from yellow or a greenish color to brown. And for the moss or mold, sorry, the mold here, then it's going to become yellowish or a brownish yellow. We can definitely do some sort of monitoring on the effectiveness of the treatment using essential oils. And this period can take up to 6 months to 1 year. And we can also apply the solution or reapply the solution. For wood items, we can use spray as well, apart from the applications using brush. If you use the spraying method, then you can basically use less of the essential oils or the solution. But it's not guaranteed it's going to be well covering the surface well, or in our opinion, it's better you use the application using a brush. Next, we are going to show you on how to use the essential oils on stone materials. My colleague Diane here is going to show you on how to do it. Thank you very much for your kind attention. During the restorations of Borobudur in 1973 through 1983, the treatment for lichen on the stones or the statues made of stone, we used the AC322 chemical agent. And this 322 is to kill lichens and prevent the growth of the lichen. And we use Hyvar XL as well. And today, a lot of the offices or heritage conservation, some of the offices still use AC322 chemical agents for getting rid of lichens. And we're going to take a look at the compositions in AC322. The components of AC322 are ammonium bicarbonate, and then sodium bicarbonate, and then disodium salt, EDTA, and then CMC, and then R-copal, and water. Edit that the total volume is 1 liter for all of the percentage of the ingredients above. the applications of AC322 is done using by spreading the this solution, and it is in the form of paste. And today, Borobudur Conservation Office is developing some essential oils for the conservation for different items. And we have some samples of essential oils that we use in our research. We have with vetiver essential oil, and we have curcuma, and we have nutmeg, and we have citronella essential oils, and we have clove, and then we have patchouli. We're going to continue the presentation. My colleague Ibu Yuyun is going to show you some research that we have conducted using essential oils for conservation. Thank you. Can anyone bring me my presentation, please? Bring it up. As you can see on your screen, we have some images here. This is the research on patchouli oil usage in conservation. So we observe the treatment and the effectiveness of patchouli oil within few days. The usage of patchouli oil covered different concentration levels. We started from 10% of the concentrate to 50% of the concentrate. We spray the stone or the lichen on the stone, and we spray this on the stone, and we observe the process within 1 day or 24 hours, and then within 1 day, there wasn't any discoloration yet. And then we observe until the 6th day of as of the treatment. Within the concentrate of 10% of patchouli could kill lichens on the stone. And these are the andesite. This is from Borobudur site, or from the Borobudur temple site. And then we observe this process until 30 days as of the application. Next. And we can see the discoloration here. It's becoming more brown by days. And then also on the patchouli, we observe until 7 months. And as you can see on the pictures here, this is the application in Bangkar, a temple, East Java. We use clove essential oil with 100% concentration. We applied this on 2017. So we apply this on different spots, and then we observe from green color, and it changed over time to yellow, brownish yellow. And these are bricks or red bricks. And this is lichen on the tough stone. This is in Waruga Sawangan site in North Sulawesi. This is where A.Md Mulyadi is now assigned to. The essential oil we use is clove essential oil, 20%, and ethanol ester solvent. Same application using spraying method. So apart from andesite stones, we also apply this on red bricks and also tough stone. And then we use patchouli oil here. Oh, this is actually citronella as well in the form of microemulsion. So we develop, or we've been developing methods of conservation over the years by changing the particle size. So we use the surfactant, which is twin 80. So then we can create, or we can produce microemulsion, smaller size of the particles. It is the same application using the spraying method. We observe the process and the treatment here. There is discoloration from green to brownish yellow. And that shows there is obstructions in the photosynthesis process of the lichen. So we can say that the lichen is killed. This is another applications on the tough stone on a site in Batu Agung in Surabaya, sorry, in Madura. We use 3 different essential oils. We use curcuma essential oil on the left side, as you can see on the screen, and we use nutmeg essential oil. That's the picture in the middle, and then on the right side, it's the citronella essential oil. We use the same concentration for each of this essential oil, 10%, and using water as the solvent. As we can see, by applying different types of essential oil here, the Citronella Microemulsion shows highest effectiveness in killing the lichen. And the lichen basically is naturally removed, or we cannot see the sign of the lichen, or it stopped growing. Next. And you can see this. Next slide. Lichen on tough stone in Makam Agung Arusbaya, Madura. There's also discolorations after the application of Citronella Microemulsion in 10% concentrate. So we have been developing different ingredients. We use ingredient surfactant twin 80 and co-surfactant PEG 400, and essential oil that we use is clove oil. So we conduct the experiment to determine the size of the particles of the solvent of these different ingredients, and also for the essential oil, clove oil. And then we have 3 variations. We have variation 1 with different ratio using twin, and then PG and clove oil. And the ratio is 7:1. And then the second variation, 7:1:2. And variation 3, twin 6, PEG 401, clove oil 3. And then we measure the size of the particles, whether it's microparticle or nanoparticle, using PSA. So we use surfactant and co-surfactant as well as essential oil, and we make them homogeneous. As we can see in the 3 variations that we tested, the colors are slightly different, from a transparent to a little bit darker. And from the solutions, then we make solutions. We dilute. We dilute it 100 times, and then we take 1 milliliter, and then we dilute it again, that within the amount of 100 milliliter. Then we compare the sizes of the particle before and after the dilution, or the 100 dilutions. And to study the sizes of the particles, we use PSA, or particle size analyzer. And we did this research, or this test, in Universitas Islam Indonesia in Yogyakarta. Next. From the tests that we conducted on the 3 variations, it's called A, B, C. Before and after dilutions, as you can see, L1 to 3, and then after the dilutions, or like 100 dilution, the result shows the size is around 10.1 to 253.7. I repeat, 178 before dilution. These figures show that the solution is nano sized. It's categorized as nano size if it's 10 to 500 nanometer. We also conducted we have been conducting different research as well to get the best result of the nanoparticles, so we can use more on the conservations of the heritage sites. And next, we're going to show you on how to clean a material from lichens on an andesite stone. We're going to make solutions of 10% of citronella essential oil. Why did we choose citronella? Based on a lot of research, citronella has properties that are useful for our purposes. And also general purposes as well, or usages. For example, it's an anti-mosquito and then antibacterial, and then it can also soothe some tense muscles, for example, or a little bit of arthritis. And that's why today we're going to show you on how to apply essential oil on item or material here. And we use 10% of this concentrate. And we know that the oil and also water, they're not soluble. So we use surfactant. We are now using twin 80 to dilute this. Twin 80 that we are going to use here, the concentrate is 5%. We have the ingredients ready. So first we're going to make the solutions of twin 80 with 5% concentrate. Now we have 25 milliliter of twin 80. And we pour this into our glass. Then we pour this in the becker glass. And then add some distilled water. We're using Aquades brand. Up to 500 milliliter in the volume. We stir it. We add more distilled water, so all the twin solution can be up to 500 milliliter. Now we're stirring this until well incorporated. We're stirring this until homogeneous. So apart from using a stirrer, we can also use stirrer. Once homogeneous, we will set this aside. This homogeneous solution will be transparent. And next, we're going to make a solution of citronella essential oil of 10% of concentrate. Prepare 50 milliliter of citronella essential oil. You can use a measuring glass. Five 50 milliliter of citronella essential oil. We're going to convert it into 500 milliliter of citronella solution. We pour this in a becker glass. And the twin and aqueous solution is poured here. Then the total volume will become 500 milliliter. While still stirring this until homogeneous. When it's ready, then it's ready to be used. We're going to spray this solution on an andesite stone that has lichen or moss. This is a 10% solution of essential oil. You pour it into a sprayer bottle. choose an andesite, a piece of andesite stone with lichen on the surface, and you can see all the stones here. They have green lichens. We're now applying the essential oil by spraying the solutions 2 times or 3 times. And as you can see, the stone next to the one that we just sprayed, we can see a lot of lichens here, a moss here, a lot of moss here. We also sprayed 2 or 3 times. And to reduce the effect of evaporation after the application by spraying the solution, we can cover the stones using a plastic bag or plastic, just a piece of plastic, and wrap it. We'll wait and we observe. For every 24 hours, we can check, and based on our experience, or in our experience, these lichen and moss will basically stop to grow. So there is discoloration taking place as well from green to yellow. And now we're going to show you lichen and moss on which we applied citronella essential oil. And you can see that the discoloration has happened, or you can see the brownish color here. And we are comparing the items here, the stones that we have covered with plastic after the applications of the solution. And then a stone, or the stone that we didn't put any plastic on after the spraying of the solution. And you can see here we covered the part with plastic after the spraying of citronella solution. The color becomes brownish and dried. If we compare it to the part next to it, this part wasn't covered by plastic. So for this purpose, this plastic wrapper actually really helped in minimizing the evaporations of the solution. And we can also see the lichen that has been sprayed with the solution, as we can see here. This part here that I showed you, actually it wasn't sprayed by citronella solution. It's still green, still growing. And then after we sprayed it with Citronella Microemulsion, we can see the color is brownish now. So this shows us that the lichen already stopped growing, or it's basically removed or killed. The contact time for the moss with the essential oil for it to stop growing, we need 24 hours. And for lichen, it takes longer than the moss. For lichen, it takes 3 days with these applications of the Citronella Microemulsion. That is why Balai Konservasi Borobudur, or the Borobudur Conservation Office, has been conducting a lot of studies to make it smaller to become nano instead of micro. So with the smaller size of the particles, the shorter period of time that will take for us to get rid of the lichen. The smaller the particles, the penetration is stronger. So with a deeper penetration is expected here. And then the next thing that we do, we use mechanical cleaning with the dry method. We can use a toothbrush. We can also use this a nylon brush. And for wider area, we can use a bigger brush, maybe using some also organic material as well. Like this one here. This is basically plant fiber that we use for the brush, the darker brush. We can choose the size of the brush based on the area that you're trying to cover. So the dried moss here can be just brush it up. Once you brush this out, it's actually very easy to do. Once it's dried, you don't really have to spend a lot of energy here. Just like brush it gently, and it is all removed. We're not going to brush the upper part of the stone. It's as a control part. As we can see, the parts here that have been cleaned from the moss. And the part that is still with moss on it. And you can see the difference here before and after the brushing. We can only use the dry method because the use of citronella essential oils that is not covered by microorganism. This also citronella can be as well for the to prevent the regrowth of the lichens or moss. And to see if it works or not, we can see the discoloration after the applications of essential oils. And we can also use this color meter. This is a device. And we can read the LAB. And to tell the difference between before and after application, we can check the delta E value here. We can also use an app on the phone. This is my Android phone. It's Color Tool. The application is called Color Tool. I hope you can see this clearly. This is the application. Then we can check the delta E and input the data before the application. Say the LB value before the application, and then the LAB value after the applications of the essential oil. And now we can see the result of delta E. The value 5 to 6 shows that there is no discoloration. We're going to show you the delta E value on the andesite stone without microorganism growing on it. As we can see, this is the delta E value within 6-day period. Within the 6-day period, as you can see, this red line is the control value. No treatment. Blue line, that's the delta E after treatment using the microemulsion of citronella. Day 1, delta E value, we can see there is a decrease in the value. And from day 1 observation to day 6 observation, delta E is not more than 6. This shows that the application of Citronella Microemulsion did not affect the discolorations of the stone. And these are the images from the microscopic moss that was studied. The tools, this microscopic video is actually very useful when you're doing a research like this. The photo on your left-hand side, that was the before treatment condition. And on your right-hand side, that's the moss after the applications of 10% concentrate of citronella essential oil within 24 hours. And you can see the browning has happened, meaning that the growth has been stopped. And then we're going to show you the citronella as repellent and insecticide. Citronella used on document or paper. Citronella essential oil was used in 2 research as repellent and insecticide against termites. The ingredients that we use, citronella essential oil, and the test was done on wood with termites and also paper document. So we use the dry wood here, and these termites usually are actually more resilient than the soil termites. The wood termites usually invested in furniture like tables or chairs and other pieces of furniture, while the ground or soil termites lurked in the ground. And also they have their termites hills there on the ground. We took some samples of the termites and we put it in a jar that actually mimics the habitat of the termites. We use the evaporation method of essential oil. And we use citronella as the essential oil. The aroma or the scent of the essential oil is used here. And we did not use the spraying method here because we did not want to contaminate the documents that we use as our object. And we use citronella essential oil as a repellent of against termites. And we use this fish tank glass or aquarium, and we put some termites in there from like wood termite, and then we use essential oil, citronella essential oil. And we have separators here. So we have some sort of chambers here or boxes here, and the scent of citronella oil is distributed throughout these boxes, and we observe day by day within a 15-day period. During the observation, we saw the number of termites is increasing by day, actually, or increased by day. Like the termites try to avoid the scent of citronella essential oil here. Next, we use citronella essential oil as an insecticide against termites. We use a container. This is some sort of box, and we have essential oils in the box. And we hung some pieces of papers here. And then we have this cellulose piece here to put some food for the termites. And then we observe every day for 15 days on the reaction or the behavior of the termites. Citronella that we use as insecticide and also repellent against termites. We also wanted to learn whether there is any changes in the document, the physical paper here. We use different types of paper within this container in which we placed essential oil, citronella essential oil. Next slide. The result shows that citronella essential oil is more effective as a repellent against termites. And there is no discoloration of the paper due to the scent or the citronella essential oil. The discoloration was also observed through this device, the colorimeter. This pieces of paper was measured using this colorimeter, and then after the application of the use of the citronella oil here, we also test the level of the discoloration in this paper. Next slide, please. And going forward, we can develop the essential oils here for different purposes as well. For example, in the form of liquid, in the form of solid, and then also in the form of gel. Please note that because the research that I just explained to you used evaporation method. So the volume of the essential oil will depend on some factors, which are the temperature and also the humidity of the room. Therefore, the use of citronella essential oil, as for example, the aromatherapy or for the scent of, or the scents here, it depends on the conditions or those factors that I just mentioned. Next slide, please. Thank you. I'm going to give the floor back to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sri Wahyuni, Ms. Francisca Dian, and Mr. Alvideo Purwoko. I hope you guys can see clearly in the demonstration and the presentation that have been conducted by them. So now the discussion session. So if anybody want to ask something or maybe give some comment, please, you can raise your hand or you can type in the chat room. We already have several questions. I think I will read some of them. First question from Mr. Ali Sulistyo. What is the direction of this essential oil to the bricks? Please, Miss Sri Wahyuni, you can answer the question.
Thank you for the question, Ms. Ari. Oh, Mr. Ari Sulistyo, thank you for your question. I'm sorry. So you were asking about direction on the bricks. There wasn't any significant reaction or impact on the application of this essential oil, and we have tested on bricks or red bricks in East Java, the East Java sites, in Bangkal Temple and Jabung Temple in East Java. We use the spraying method on moss and also lichens. The reaction was this discoloration on the lichen and moss. So for the material itself, for the bricks, it did not, or they did not react with the essential oil that we used on them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wahyuni. We go to the next question from Mr. Audio. Do you use this essential oil for a curative or preventive process? What are the advantages of using essential oil over mechanical cleaning, whether wet cleaning or dry cleaning? And which one is more effective? The essential in the form of paste or spray liquid when we want to use it for conservation process?
Thank you, Audio. So for your questions, our response is that essential oils that we use could be used also for preventive measures and also for curative measures. So the advantage of using essential oils and different essential oils, but on this in this research, we focused on the usage of citronella essential oil. When we use essential oil, this citronella essential oil, we first kill the microorganism so that the spores of the moss did not spread. And when we did the mechanic cleaning without using the microemulsion of citronella, then what we did was would have been moving, not instead of removing, but we would have been moving or transferring the spores, or maybe like just spreading the spores somewhere else. So then the spread will be wider. Then you will have more moss instead of removing the moss, because the spores were all over the place. So mainly we kill the microorganism first by using the essential oil, and then we do the mechanic cleaning a dry mechanic cleaning method. We also tried it on stones without microorganism. We sprayed the essential oil and we compared the stone that wasn't sprayed with essential oil. The growth of the microorganism was more rapidly taken place on the stone without the usage of this essential oil. So the essential oil, the citronella here, can be used as a preventive measures and also curative measure. Thank you, Audio, for your question. So what we use here for in the application of the essential oil, we use the liquid form instead of the paste form because the penetration is deeper with the liquid. And this is effective on the brick and then stones and also the wood materials. And then for the paper, physical paper, the documents, we use gel in the form of room perfume, aromatherapy there. So the gel will ooze out the scent of essential oils. Thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Wahyuni. We have another question from Mr. Aris Sulistyo. Essential oil, in this case, clove and citronella, is used to lichen treatment for brick from 13th century, like that have been shown in the presentation before. Have you tried to use that essential oil on the brick from the colonial period, for example, from 19th and 20th century? If did, are there any differences?
For old building from the Dutch colonial era, we actually haven't done anything in terms of research. But maybe we can try it next time. The research that we conducted has been on our heritage sites, on temples made of bricks and also andesite stones, or also tough stones as well.
Thank you. We go to the next question from Sim Junhui. Hello, just wondering if weather is a concern when conducting the treatment outdoors. Will the effectiveness of the essential oil solution differ in a sunny weather or a rainy season, even well covered with plastic? Thank you.
Thank you. During dry season, it does affect the object if we apply the essential oil, because usually it's dry then and it's hot temperature wise, so the evaporation is much faster. During the rainy season, the essential oil or the rainwater will basically remove the essential oil, especially if we use this on items we store outdoors. So we apply this during the dry season, the evaporation will be higher, and to minimize the evaporation rate, we can use a plastic wrapper So the function of this plastic wrapper is to minimize the evaporations. And we know that the volatility of the essential oil is quite high. And it will affect the application as well. And if we use if we do the application during the day, it's, for example, during a hot day, then it's also will fast. The evaporation will be faster. So I would suggest that we apply this essential oil in the morning when it's still quite or relatively cool.
Thank you for the answer. Now we move to the next question from Miss Gwen Jenkins. Thank you for a very interesting and informative presentation. At the beginning, you mentioned vetiver essential oil. What is used for?
Thank you for the question, Gwen. Vetiver is used in some museums as the anti-termites and also anti-fungi or anti-mold. We are currently still developing this vetiver essential oil for the scent, room scent, or like the gel for documents conservation. In some museums in Java Island, they usually use 3 types of plants for conservation, which are vetiver, and then also clove, and also gaharu in Indonesian. It's no, I forget. Sorry, interpreters lost this word. So in museum, bisa diulang Mbak, tolong. So vetiver, gaharu, and also clove usually are only placed in a vitrine. So there is dirt coming from this method actually. So usually there is trace of dirt on the documents or the paper. That's why we are now developing so we we are going to develop vetiver and also this agar wood or the gaharu or agar wood as part of the conservation in what we are doing. So it's going to be, so in the future we can use this as the like aromatherapy in museums, and also as agents to repel insects.
Thank you, Ms. Wahyuni. We go to the next question from Ms. Harpreet. Have you taken any sample from the tough stone after treatment with microemulsion citronella 10%? If yes, have you found any residue of the essential oil? Are you concerned about this? Because I'm certainly amazed by the immediate result, but also afraid of the residues left.
Essential oils that we use on the tough stone We didn't find any residue on the material on which we apply the essential oil, on the tough stone especially, and also on the other types of stones. So we've applied this, or we have conducted this research for the last 7 months, and we haven't found any residue. If we apply it by spraying or by brushing, then the difference will be the spraying usually the surface only affects the surface, so it doesn't penetrate as much. While if you brush it, then you can basically penetrate more, you can penetrate deeper into the material that you are trying to conserve. And we do the spraying 2 or 3 times. Based on our observation, we haven't found any residue on the tough stone and also the red bricks.
Thank you, Miss Sri Wahyuni, from the answer. We go to the next question. I think the question is always come more. From Miss Josephine Delario, thank you, great presentation. After how long you noticed that the moss and lichens restart growing on the surface in indoor condition after citronella essential oil treatment and mechanical removal? Considering, for example, in Borobudur temple area, after how long you had to treat again the surface? I work in Thailand and I think that the climate conditions are similar. And I noticed that the biogrowth is very fast, especially during rainy season, of course. Please, Ms. Sri Wahyuni, to answer the question.
In dry condition, the application is effective for 7 months. But during rainy season, it's actually usually it's shorter than 7 months. For prevention, we can use the essential oil after the treatment.
Okay, thank you. We go to the next question from Mr. Adam Debir. Have you done any research into the use of evaporated essential oil for conservation of textiles?
On textile, we haven't applied essential oils, and we expect to have more research in the future. And thank you very much for the input. If you, Adam the beer, if you have used evaporated essential oils, probably you can share your experience with us. Adam?
Okay, I think this is a great information, great idea for us. I think we can have a research about the use of essential oil for the textile in the next time. We have one more question from Mr. John Emmanuel. Might I kindly ask if the citronella essential oil is also effective in coating metal artifacts?
We have never used citronella essential oil on metals artifacts. For coating on metals artifact, we use sandalwood essential oil. It's a common practice in Java Island. But we have never used citronella essential oils for coating. I cannot see the questions here. Can someone please read me the questions here?
Okay, thank you, Ms. Wahyuni. I think that's all the question. Or is there anyone who want to giving more question or maybe share something about the use of essential oil in your area?
Pak Andi Mulyadi, it'll be great if you can share with us the use of clove essential oil in Gorontalo. So I know you have the experience. Pak Andi Mulyadi, are you there? Ibu Titin Novita, are you there? I think in the previous workshop, you shared with us your experience of using essential oil in West Sumatra.
I think we don't have experience in essential oil in West Sumatra. Sorry, Mbak Yuyun. We don't have experience about that.
Andi Mulyadi. The use of citronella essential oil for 1 meter square of surface of moss and lichen or lichen, we can use essential oil 10 milliliter and then 36 milliliter of twin 80 and distilled water 84 milliliter. I mean 480 milliliter. 84.
Okay, if there are no more questions, I think we can end the session. Thank you for the attention of the participant. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the input, and also thank you for the speaker. Can we give applause to the speaker? Okay, thank you everyone. That is the laboratory practice for today. I also like to remind you that tomorrow we will start early. Instead of start at 10 o'clock as usual, we start tomorrow at 9 o'clock in Western Indonesian time. So we were earlier, 1 hour earlier. So don't miss that. And the schedule of the presentation, you can see it on our website. I already shared the link in the chat room. So make sure you have prepared that. One group or one person, we give time about 15 minutes for the presentation and the discussion session. So maybe you can go 5-minute presentation and 10-minute discussion, or you can presentation for 10 minutes and a 5-minute discussion. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, tomorrow is the last day of Biochemco. We will have the closing on tomorrow, not on Wednesday as we already scheduled before, because there is a national holiday in Indonesia and on October 28th. So we will finish the Biochemco tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's. Thank you, participant. Thank you. Good afternoon.